Hello race fans and welcome along to this video all about sprint racing. The idea of this video is that we're going to go through a quick rundown of what goes into a day of sprinting, how you might get involved and what you're going to need. So you can see there that I've driven my car onto the circuit, and that's because it's part of a road legal class. So my road going modified, it's a road legal car, it's got an MOT, it's taxed, and you can drive it to the circuit. Once you've got to the circuit, you're going to need to sign on. Every club does this slightly differently, but the main idea is that we're going to check that you've got your valid MS UK race licence and that you've got yourself a club membership card. Once you've signed yourself on, you're going to get some truck entry card of some kind. This is a yellow card, you can see in this example, and this is going to get given to the scrutineer when they come and look at your car. They'll sign it off. It's also worth mentioning at this point that sprint racing is really friendly, really welcoming atmosphere. We love people coming down, getting involved, all sorts of people, all sorts of cars. As I've already mentioned, my car is a road legal car, and that is because it's part of a road going class in sprinting. There are a few things, however, that we need to do to make sure that it is ready for the track. So one of those things is that we need to have a towing eye fitted front and rear. The reason for this is in case we get ourselves into trouble, if we have a little off, the marshals will have something to attach their tow rope to so they can pull me out of trouble. So that's a nice and easy thing. Most cars will already have towing eye points ready for you to use. And then the second thing that we need to do is have a beam breaker. This is a black piece of metal that's non-reflective that's fitted to the front of the car, and this has been done at the most forward point so it breaks the beam on the timing equipment. There are loads of solutions for this. There are ones that are available on eBay, there are homebrew alternatives. Mine is made out of a bit of plastic that's been bent into the right shape and has done a great job for 2 years now. So the beam breaker's there to work with the timing equipment, like I've said, and we have official timekeepers that come and do the sprinting events, so they will measure every run down to the 100th of a second, so it's super accurate. The beam breaker has just got to be at a certain height, so it's all set out in the MS UK national competition rules. Have a look in there for the specifics of what you'll need. Once the car is all ready and prepped, you are ready for a visit from the scrutineer. So you'll be given a time slot for your scrutineer, and they're going to come and have a look at your car. Their job is to make sure that everything is safe and everything is track-worthy. That's what they're interested in. They're going to come and have a look around your car. They're going to have a look at some main things. They're going to look in your engine bay, make sure everything looks absolutely fine in there. They're going to have a look at your battery. They want to make sure that it's tied down firm. They want to make sure that the terminals of the battery are covered, and they want to make sure that you've labelled your negative terminal with yellow tape. This is all part of the regs in the Motorsport UK national competition rules, so pretty straightforward stuff. Nothing too much to worry about. They're also going to check that your seat belts and your steering wheel are all secure so that nothing's loose and that's no danger. They're also going to check your personal protection equipment, so they'll check your helmet is up to regs and a suit if you need one. I'll also mention here that I am a member of Shenston and District Car Club. They are a fantastic car club. They run 4 sprints at Kerborough during the year, so if you're anywhere near South Staffordshire, the West Midlands, it's a really good club to look into, so check out their Facebook or their website for more details on that. Once you get called, you are going to go drive through the paddock, and this is where the excitement and the nerves start to build. Obviously this is why we come and do it. We want to get on track and we want to compete. So first time down, we're going to drive down through the paddock, and we're going to be expected to hand over our track entry card that's been signed by the scrutineers. Once we've done that, we're going to follow the directions of the marshals. I will at this point shout out to the marshals, they are amazing. I know that they volunteer their time and they make motorsport happen, so absolutely massive thank you to all the marshals that run every event in motorsport. It wouldn't happen without you, and we really do appreciate it. There we go, I'm handing over my truck entry card, so now we're going to get into the queue on our way to the start line. In this queue we've got one more job we've got to do before we can get on track. So every track's going to have a noise limit. At Kerborough the limit is 105 decibels, and so we're going to get noise tested. It's nice and simple. All you're going to do is wait for the scrutineer to come along. He's going to ask you to hold your revs at 2/3 of the maximum. So you hold it at 2/3 and he will test it for you. Once you've got your thumbs up on the noise test, you are now ready to go to track, and you're just waiting for the further instructions from the marshals. Once you get the signal, you're going to move yourself down to the start line. You're going in a group, and that group is your class, so those are the people that you are competing against directly on the day. The reason you go down together is so you all get similar track conditions, you're going to get similar weather conditions, you're going to go off in number order, So I'm number 39, the person in front's 38, the person in front of them 37, and it's the same for each of your runs. So it keeps it nice and fair, nice and even. When I first started competing, it was in this car and it was standard. One of the first things that was really appealing to me for sprinting is I could buy any car and I could come and compete in it. So add that to the fact that if you've got a displacement of less than 2 litres, the only sort of protection equipment you're going to need is your helmet. That's why it's a truly, really low cost motorsport and really accessible. And that's why I want to encourage as many people as I can, because I think people don't know quite how accessible sprinting is. Now I'm just following the marshal's instructions and they're lining us up in group order at the start line. At this point I just want to mention the variety of cars that we do actually get. So in our class we've got front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, mid engines, we've got the lot in our class. It is absolutely fantastic, and what's brilliant is it's still really competitive. I'll show you the times at the end of the day and you won't believe how close all of these cars are. Now we're getting ready to go to the start line. We're being called forward one at a time by the marshals. So it's time to get ourselves ready. You can see I've got helmets on, gloves on. We are getting ready to go. And again, we're just following the marshal's instructions, making sure that we are in the right place at the right time. We're now going to get called forward to the front of the queue. We're not quite at the start line just yet. We've got one more person to go, but this is where I'm going to do all of my checks. I'm going to make sure that I've got my traction control turned off. Everything's in exactly the mode that I want it to be. My car's pretty simple, so it's pretty much 2 buttons, but yep, good to go, and good to make sure that these things are ready before the start line. You're going to drive up to the start line and you'll see the little light on the right hand side. That's going to tell me when I can go, but before we do that, the marshals are going to push me into place. That is so the beam breaker that we talked about earlier, it's got to go exactly to the right point, so you start at the same point that everyone else has and you break the beam the same way everyone else has. They always complain about how heavy my car is, which I am getting a bit of a complex about because I think my car's really light, but once they are ready they're going to give you the thumbs up, let you know that you're in place, and you're waiting now just for the lights. Now, unusually in sprinting, when the light goes green, you can go whenever you want. It isn't. The timer starts when the light goes green. So you're looking for that light on the right hand side. We've got to wait for the car that's currently on track to come off. Once they come off, and you can see them coming past now, this will go green and off I go. On the day of recording, we were doing the single lap, but I want to show you the figure of 8, which is the most technical and requires the most bravery. So off we go from the start, and we pick up a lot of speed for this first left-hander. And for these first couple of corners, these are my favourite on the circuit. You can carry a lot of speed into this left here, and it's how brave you are in terms of carrying it through to the right-hander, and you can gain a lot of time if you carry the speed there. We're now going fast down to the molehill, hard onto the brakes, round the molehill. You want to make sure you don't end up on the molehill. Once you've got there, you're going to fast down to the Fradley hairpin. For me, I'm limiter bashing, and we're going to get onto the brakes hard to go round the Fradley hairpin. And we're just waiting to get on the throttle. And we're off down towards the first part of the crossover. This requires a bit of bravery. You're going to go right across the track here, and it gets narrow on the exit, so you make sure you don't carry too much speed. You don't want to end up over there. And then we're getting to the hardest corner on the circuit for me. You've got to brake and turn, so you've got to really modulate that brake and get it tucked in and back onto the throttle hard, ready for the second part of the figure of 8. So we're going to cross over again. This time we're going to go from the right side to the left side of the track, clipping that cone without hitting it, all the way down towards Fradley for the second time, brake as late as we dare, round the hairpin, and then this is where getting on the throttle early really makes the difference, because we can get on the power and we go all the way down the long straight to the finish line. You can see it coming up on our left hand side. You can see the timing hut there, or the commentary hut, and we're going to cross the line now, and now we're going to slow ourselves down. We're coming back towards the marshals, back towards the other competitors, to the right hand side of those cones, and we're going to go nice and slow so it's safe for everybody involved. You've done your run, you've been timed, now it's time to just get ourselves back to the paddock. In a sprint event you are usually going to get 2 practices in the morning, and then you're going to get your timed runs after that. You often get 2 timed runs, but I think on the single lap we actually had time for a 3rd timed run of the day. The fastest of your timed runs is the one that's going to count towards your final position, so it isn't over until the final timed run has finished. And then once you've finished your runs, of course, you're going to want to know what your time is. So you can either go back to the paddock office where they'll have the times for you, or there's often a website that you can go to and you can see them update live. Our final result for the day, we came home second, pipped to first by Ant in the red Mini, who not only won the day but also won the class. So congratulations to Ant for that. But a really good day, really enjoyable. So one more thing to do is give out the trophies.
Class 1C, there's 3 again. Third in class, Paul Meredith. Second in class, Liam Meredith. First in class, car 41, Anthony Ashcroft.
So there you have it. That's a day in sprinting. I absolutely love the chance to go and compete. I love the chance to go and be part of motorsport, but I also love the camaraderie and the community that we build at Kerbera. So this is at the end of the season. We got ourselves a photo of Class 1C, minus 2 people that had to go home early, unfortunately, but they all make it a fantastic day. They all make it a fantastic experience. It is just a really friendly, supportive group. So thank you to them for making it a fantastic season. We're already looking forward to next year. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you found that interesting, entertaining or informative in some way. If you're interested in sprinting, feel free to drop a comment underneath this video or get in touch with the Shunston and District Car Club on Facebook or via their website. Somebody will be in touch with you and they will be able to help answer any questions that you may have. I'm going to leave you with a paddock walk, which is a great opportunity to see all the variety of cars that we get at Kerbera coming to sprint. On the left hand side here you have the standard class cars, so these are the cars that are factory standard, and on the right hand side you've got some more of the modified or the specialist sprint cars that have come down and sprinted at Kerbera. I can tell you from experience that lots of the drivers will be more than happy if you stop by and ask them about their car. They'll tell you anything they've done to it, the sprinting, the wins, all that sort of thing. They are a really enthusiastic and knowledgeable bunch of people. That's it for this video, so I'm going to leave you with this paddock walk, but thank you for watching and hopefully you found it useful. We'll see you down at the track.